How quickly would you guys chase me if I just took off? Dude, it's everything I wanted it to be and more. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I have absolutely never been more excited to review a motorcycle than I have today. So I got an email a while back, hey, we've got a really special, rare, unique ride. Would you be interested? It didn't line up with my dates, but I had a gut feeling it was worth it. So I stayed in Daytona an extra 3 days. I would have stayed an extra 3 months for the chance to ride this. And that's because, unfortunately, it's not in my budget to buy this. And I know a lot of you guys watching are gonna feel the same way. So this bike is gonna have an MSRP of $110,000. And I know that sounds crazy. Before you fall out of your chair, just know that I know a lot of guys building a lot of high-end bikes. The budget goes crazy, and I promise you, I'm not just saying this because Harley's letting me ride this and being nice to them. You could never, ever build this motorcycle for $110,000. Plus, you still get your normal 2-year factory warranty with this thing. I absolutely love this motorcycle. There's only going to be 131 made. Number zero. So this is a pre-production bike, obviously. We're going to go over all the details, and I'll show you guys this bike really quickly, and then we're going to hop on this thing and ride it. So let me pull out my notes really quickly. So I had to make a little cheat sheet for everything that's going on this bike. So really quickly, we'll hit the power numbers: 153 horsepower, 150 foot-pounds of torque. So this is the exact Öhlins fork that they have on the race bike, the exact one, just a different spring rate and tuned differently, obviously. The GP4 RX caliper and the T-drive front rotor, same exact setup that's on the race bike that James Rispoli and Kyle Wyman are running. Full titanium and carbon exhaust. I love this crossover pipe. These carbon shields look amazing. And that full exhaust is titanium. A big thing that kind of sucks that you can't see is this billet swing arm. So this is not the swing arm off of the race bike, but it's made the same way. The only reason it's not the same one is their bikes are significantly taller, so it's a different length, but it's made the same way. I'll throw up a picture so you guys can kind of see a cutaway of this swing arm. It is truly a work of art. So let's talk about what else is billet. So your clamps up here on the bars will be billet. Your swing arm, obviously. Your mid controls, look at these. Absolutely incredible. This is a proper performance bike. Your clutch basket will also be billet, as well as this primary cover. And look how, I don't know if it will translate on video, look how thin that cover is. And then on the bottom, you've got your little scrape guard down here. So your fairing, your saddlebags, and your saddlebag lids will be a combination of carbon and Kevlar, making them significantly stronger than just carbon. Your seat pan here on the Saddleman seat, shout out to Saddleman because this thing looks amazing. Carbon seat pan. You have your pommel here. It's called a pommel, and that's so when you're leaning the bike over, your knee has somewhere to go. I highly doubt I need that, but it looks really good. And I'm also surprised that the performance bagger guys haven't started adding one of these to their bike for the look. Maybe it's kind of corny, especially if you don't need it, but I'm the type of guy that would throw it on there anyway. 50 pounds less than the CVO ST model, so puts it right around 750 pounds. So that's 30% more power to weight. And I've heard it's 2 inches taller than stock. I'm gonna see when I hop on this thing. I absolutely love a tall bike. So I'll give you guys one last quick walk around before I jump on this thing and take off. Absolutely incredible. So as we've seen with like the ST model, sometimes these parts trickle down, and that's the good thing about them doing projects like this. And I promise you guys, they're not getting rich. I know that price tag sounds big, but if you understand R&D and what goes into building a motorcycle like this, you'll know that it is a very, very expensive project. So it says a lot that Harley's willing to step up and do something like this. That's it for the review portion of this. Let's get on this motorcycle and see what it's got. This thing is already absolutely insane. Oh my God. I gotta thank my friends at Harley Davidson for making this happen. This is a little kid's dream come true. Very, very, very first impressions. The controls, the mid controls are money. Like, I love this. I absolutely love this. This is pretty cool for a kid that grew up, obviously, like most of you watching this, is a big fan of Harley. Getting to ride this brand new bike, one of the very few people getting to ride it. Riding Zero, a pre-production motorcycle, is just, ooh, this thing is dangerous. Oh my God. So I got to try not to get in trouble with the police or with Paul up here. Riding this thing because, oh, it's rowdy. Let's see. Going through the modes here. That's what we want. That was my intention as soon as I watched a video. Shout out to Marvel Kid 87, my buddy June, showing me what this bike was all about before I got out here to ride it. I knew that it had ride modes, and I saw Kyle Wyman talking about the track mode and saying that it was hard to keep the front wheel down in track mode. So obviously that's the mode we're going to ride this in. I'm only going to have the chance to ride this one time, and we're going to make the most of it. So I don't know how much you guys can see of this cockpit area, but this thing is absolutely beautiful. If it's in your budget to buy one of these motorcycles, I say do it. Unfortunately, not in mine. Dude, I gotta say, for stock exhaust, the Apocalypse pipe, not bad. You see we're kind of high revving in second. Oh. Also, I'd like to take a quick second to plug my buddy Paul that's in front of me, Paul James. He's an absolute beast. Rides everything. Oh my God, you see that turn? Racing dirt bikes on the snow, track bikes, just pretty much everything. He's a beast in his own regard. So props to him. And thanks again, Paul, for making this happen. Matt, Jen, everybody that was involved in me riding this motorcycle. You know, this is the kind of thing that makes you want to do irresponsible things with your money. Can't afford it.
Truck mode is not the fastest mode for the street.
Really?
It's designed to be on the edge of the tire maximum lean angle.
Ah.
The rider, so it's really smooth.
Yep.
So sport mode is the most.
That's why he had it in sport. Okay. So Paul coming through with the tip. I don't know if you guys could hear him talking or not. Track mode is not the fastest mode for the street. It's designed to be on the edge of the tire and allow you to kind of push the boundaries of this motorcycle, but it's not the fastest. So we are back in sport mode, which is the fastest. Dude, I love the geometry of this bike. I know absolutely nothing about, geometry of a race bike or how to set it up. And this is not, I do want to be clear on that. This is not designed for you to go buy and then go be competitive in King of the Baggers. Could you take it to the track? Sure. If you buy one, should you? Absolutely. But this is not designed to go race with Kyle Wyman and those guys. But as far as the aggressive geometry, aggressive stance that I like in a motorcycle, this thing has it. This thing is it's so nimble, it's so light. If you guys watch my CVO ST, the first ride I did on that, I've ridden a lot of the ST bikes now, one with the 135 and stuff. But I said that bike overtook my new favorite from Harley Davidson. Previously, the Lowrider ST was the favorite there. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this thing is on another level. Got a little rev limiter there. But anyway, as I was saying, sorry guys, you get lost in the sauce sometimes doing this kind of stuff. As I was saying, the CVO ST was my favorite bike, and I do prefer a Softail, but it was the way that big touring bike handled that won me over. It handled like a Softail. This one's even better. Like, this one is even better. Oh, this is perfect. If you can't afford this, definitely do mid controls on your bike. Set your bike up just like this. The ride height is amazing. Everything about this thing is just set up and ready to go. Now, as you've probably noticed, it does encourage some hooligan behavior, but hey, just keep it within reason, Don't ride over your head, don't put anybody else in danger, and watch out for people that may not be pleased with you doing such activities, and I think you'll be fine.
This is the corner. This is kind of the best series of corners.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah. Oh, I love this thing. So Paul has been generous enough to let us go and hit these corners once more. And he asked it like it was a question, like, do you want to? I'm like, haha, do I want to? Oh, sliding up on the seat. The pommel, like, oh. Now, I'm always a fan of forget the factory warranty. That may change when the bike is $110,000. But I mean, hey, if you got 110 grand to burn on a Harley, I don't think you're necessarily worried about the factory warranty. I gotta be completely honest, as amazing as this whole thing is, this whole experience, this bike, this is extremely disappointing. And that's because I'm afraid I will never ride another stock factory bike that's as good as this thing. I don't see how it could be done. And I honestly don't know who could do it other than Harley. Like, who else is bringing stuff like this to the table? Whoa. So I don't know if he made it in the video, and I don't know if I might be in like the tail end of his video, but Robert Simmons, be the boss of your motorcycle, the best in the game as far as low speed maneuvers. He rode this thing before me, so be sure you go check out his video. Also, I think I may want to go out and do some content with him. I just wanted to see. Yeah. Yeah. So he said, I think I would like that one a whole lot better. You want to trade? Oh. So these guys are on a demo ride. You can tell the tank stickers on their bikes. They're on a... Oh. That's another really fun thing about this too, is getting to let people see this thing in the wild. What's that? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this will be on YouTube. Oh. This thing feels so planted. I've told you guys before, and a lot of you that are watching this may have never watched any of my content. I can be honest, I have no ego. I'm not some crazy curve killer. Like, I'm just not that fast in the curves. But there are certain bikes that make me like double the rider in the curves. And I know bike setup. I know a lot about bike setup, and I know that a lot of the stuff that I'm riding is just not really set up for that. But this is one of those bikes that inspires that confidence that I can dive into those corners just a little bit harder than I normally would and know that it's going to be okay. If you really want to see this thing in action, check out Kyle Wyman's YouTube channel, which I watched yesterday, and the fact that I have more subscribers than Kyle Wyman should never ever happen. So please go give him a follow. If you don't know, he's King of the Baggers, race champ. That guy's mind was blown. Huh? Yeah. Freaking sport bike bros. Revving it at us. Light's green. It'd actually be pretty rad if they popped up here and came and got some. So I want to speak to the brakes on this thing because, boy, they work exactly like you would expect a race bike brake to work. The front brakes are amazing. Extremely aggressive without being too much. It's a really good responsive feel. Now, it's way stronger than any of the stock Harleys that I've ridden, but it's not too strong. I'm very heavy on my front brake, and it's not giving me any issues with that kind of riding style. Lower speed stuff, this bike feels really good. Like, I mean, you could bring it to Daytona here and just cruise around. So I know I mentioned in my walk around review that these parts tend to trickle down. I did try to get you guys an answer. I was talking to my buddy Jay before the ride about this. I'm like, hey, what do you want to know? The first thing he said was, are any of these parts going to be available? Obviously, I asked that, and obviously they cannot talk about future product. So I'm not sure, to be honest, but I'm skeptical, like this whole front end. This Öhlins front end, I know you can get inserts and stuff from Harley now, but this whole Öhlins front end, these billet triple clamps and stuff, I'm super skeptical. It'd be sick if you could, but I'm extremely skeptical of that. Also, I think the sticker shock would floor some of you guys, and that's what I was talking about when I said, I know it's not like $110,000 is not a lot of money, but for what you're getting, it truly is a really, really good value. So go buy an ST and try to, put these parts on it. It's not happening. Go buy a stock Road Glide and try to turn it into what this is. Could you make more power? Yeah, there's tons of bikes out there, 180 plus horsepower, good suspension and stuff. Talk to some of those guys. They'll tell you they got 120 G's in those bikes. Yeah, there's some crazy paint on some of them, but that's how it goes. Paint aside, though, there's still six-figure bikes, and this is a factory motorcycle. A lot of times, what you don't see and what you don't know is with those factory bikes. I've been given the no-no. With those built bikes, rather, there's some issues, man. Like, you're putting a lot of stuff on that bike that was never meant to work. I see tons of guys on Instagram all the time blowing their stuff up, and yeah, it could be argued they're riding it hard, but also they're putting together a lot of high-end components that were never meant to be put together. I said I would be that dork and put a pommel on my performance bagger, even though I don't need one, and after riding with it, I definitely would. It's fun to slide up against it and put my knee in it. But one thing I've also noticed just now is that it makes a really nice, long highway rides. It's a really nice place just to lean over and rest. It's literally like an armrest when you want to crouch over and just get comfortable. All right, guys, we are about to close out this ride. So final thoughts. I mean, there's literally nothing I can say that hasn't been said. This bike is everything I hoped it would be. I had heard rumors that this bike was coming out, but I wasn't sure what the situation would be. I know other people have done similar things in the past, and they were track-only bikes, which is super cool. Not going to knock that at all. But what are you going to do with it? Like you're probably not going to take it to the track. It's a collector's item. I feel like Harley nailed this bike in making something that you can actually ride, is street legal, and still give you all the performance in the world. When I did my interview with the Wyman brothers, obviously they're not allowed to say the exact numbers that those bikes make, but they just said it's over 150. The average street rider doesn't even need that much. You need like 120 maybe. You got to be able to put it to the ground. You got to have places you can actually use all that power, and it's got to be rideable. So I feel like 150's in this sweet range, which is really nice, not to have to get a Harley and then dump another, 5-10 grand in it to squeeze out more power. If you get one and you do that, please, please, please contact me. I will fly out and we'll make some content on your bike, because that would be sick. So that's the other thing as far as ship dates. To the best of my knowledge, this bike will ship. They'll start shipping around May. Not all dealerships are going to get one. So my home dealership, Tim's Harley Davidson, the dealership that's been so good to me for all these years, they are going to get two, one at their Augusta store and one at their Anderson store. There's already calls coming in on these bikes. I've got friends at all kind of dealerships, and they're like, dude, the phone is blowing up. People are asking questions. When are they going to get here? What would it look like to try to get one? I don't know anything about pricing. Like I said, it's 110,000. There's 131 made. It wouldn't shock me to see 120, 130, maybe even $140,000 asking price on some of these. Are all dealerships going to do that? No, not at all. Are some going to try? Yeah. And maybe they sell. I don't know. I'm not telling you how to price your bike. I'm not telling you what you should pay for this bike. I'm just telling you that if you want one, you better act fast. And Tim's Harley Davidson in Anderson, South Carolina, and Tim's Harley Davidson in Augusta, Georgia will be getting one that is confirmed out of the 131 that are available. So if you're interested, give them a call. Tell them that you heard about it on this video. I don't get a commission, unfortunately. That would be sick. That's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you so incredibly much for watching. It's because of you that I got to do this. So thanks for watching. Please, please, please subscribe if you're not already. Like the video if you enjoyed it. I'll catch you guys in the next video.